This video is going to be my interview for my healthcare professional. I chose to interview the CEO of Inova, Knox Singleton. He's a really good guy. He's been a part of Inova Health Systems since 1983. Inova Health Systems has been the leader in the Washington, D.C. area as a not-for-profit organization that serves over 2 million people annually. Inova sets itself apart for its tremendous care, accessibility, and their commitment to long-term learning. As a CEO, Knox is a part of the healthcare administration, part of the healthcare industry. I chose to interview Mr. Singleton because he has risen to the top of his field, has been extremely successful as serving as the CEO of Inova, and was the CEO of the year in 2015. Healthcare administration is something that I eventually wanted to delve into, and hopefully rise to the top ranks of president or CEO of a major hospital, like what Mr. Singleton has been able to accomplish. As a CEO of Inova, there's no one better suited for me to interview that would gain me insight into the healthcare administration world, as what Mr. Singleton was able to provide. Mr. Singleton offered me excellent advice, and while we didn't cover all the questions due to time constraints, he offered me excellent advice on how to approach my career and what paths to take. So I feel like that's really special to kind of be a part of and to share with you guys. Our interview lasted about an hour and a half, and each minute was incredibly valuable, and the wealth of knowledge that he was able to share was immensely helpful. His educational background started at a small school. It was Maryville University, or college in Tennessee, where he told me that he enjoyed playing tennis there, and he enjoyed all the little things that a small school kind of offers you, such as being able to play tennis. But after 2 years, he decided to transfer to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. There he earned his Bachelor of Science in Business Administration in 1970. After this, Mr. Singleton worked at an insurance agency, and then shortly thereafter, he returned to school and earned his master's degree. He got his master's in healthcare administration from Duke University in 1973. He was talking about how valuable it was later in his career that the big name of Duke, with his MHA from there, that it's offered him countless opportunities and allowed him to gain through the ranks as quickly as he did. This is a common theme that he talks about through our interview, and he urged me if I wanted to rise to the top ranks of a company. He told me regardless of how hard the program was or kind of what it entails, it's the degree and the name of the school that's behind it. So the degree from a prestigious school will, like he said, open more doors than anything ever could. The role of a CEO at a hospital is as follows. He's supposed to objectively diagnose organization ailments, drive variability out of leadership, align their goals with the organization's goals, and he also said you don't underestimate how change affects employees, as well as consistently manage employee performance. While this is not a comprehensive list, it's certainly alludes to many of the responsibilities the CEO has. The CEO must also develop the mission and the vision of the organization, make sure its statements come to fruition. Inova's mission is to improve the health of the diverse community it serves through excellence in patient care, education, and research. Their service promise is that we seek every opportunity to meet the unique needs of each person that we are privileged to serve every time and every touch. Inova's vision is we seek to optimize the health and well-being of each individual we serve. We will achieve this by building the future of health with a focus on the following. We will reinvent hospital-based care to increase value for our patients. We will look outside our hospitals to build an integrated network of providers and programs to support our community, and we will gain national and international recognition and funding, as well as an expanded patient base through world-renowned specialty care and leading-edge corporate and consumer health programs. As you can see, the mission, service promise, and vision is an extremely important component of the organization, and it's extremely important the CEO holds their employees to this standard and this vision in order to succeed and kind of see where they need to go from there. My next question is what really took Mr. Singleton into many different lines of thinking and comprised most of our interview. Once I asked him this question, he talked for about 45 minutes. The question that I asked him was, if you knew what you knew now, how would you approach getting to your current position now? And Mr. Singleton talked about many different approaches that he offered that I should take, but also mentioned that he almost did all the things exactly right, but with no intentionality. Mr. Singleton didn't exactly foresee that he would end up as a CEO, but looking back on what he did, he talked about how that would be the general track to take to get to that role of CEO. He spoke about how it is important to achieve those soft skills, such as public speaking, being able to relate to someone, and putting bluntly, he said, you just have to get people to like you and you will succeed. He talked about organizational success a lot and how that kind of looks different from just any other type of success. Getting to those next roles of manager, director, CEO, president, stuff like that, it's a little different path. And he said there was very specific ways to achieve this. And we'll delve into this a little further in the paper. He said there is a lot of prep work that goes into it, and it starts even before you begin with your first job. He said first that you need to develop those soft skills and that you need to stand up for something bigger than yourself. He said all of the people in his executive leadership have a moral or a belief that they strongly believe in, and this kind of helped them get to the position they currently reside in. What he's trying to get at from this was when you believe in something that's more than yourself, or something that you can be a part of, like the Peace Corps, or he even said like nursing, or just any health profession, that speaks volumes about the kind of person that you are. And it can be something as simple as just the way people are treated. As long as you take a stance and make that a part of your everyday mantra, then you will be successful because people respect you more for your beliefs. Mr. Singleton went on to make points about this time period and how it's a very good time for changes in leadership. He made the comparison between time periods of when he started to get into the healthcare business and the current time period that we're currently in right now. He said that the current social divide that we're experiencing right now is very similar to what was going on when he took his first job at Hershey Medical Center in Pennsylvania. He said that when there are times such as this, there are often changes in leadership to adapt to the changing times and keep up with the changing healthcare to meet the needs of the population. While at Hershey Medical Center, he said that he knew absolutely nothing about healthcare and was a walking hazard, as he put it. This alludes to the next point that Mr. Singleton made. He said the number one way to be successful, and also the number one way to be a great boss, is to let your employees grow. Mr. Singleton talked about when choosing a job as crucial as your first job, it is imperative that you choose a job where the boss isn't overactive and is going to let you grow. You don't want a micromanager. He said that he also takes his information in stride and applies it to his leadership each and every day he tries to mentor somebody. He also talked about his 10 keys to organizational success that he developed, and while he briefly mentioned it, he said that he would forward me the document and meet with me sometime the next month, so that's exciting to do, to thoroughly go through it. I'll go through some of those points later on in the video, especially the ones I found extremely useful to myself. But going back to him being a walking hazard, as he put it, at Hershey Medical Center, he was kind of alluding to the fact that while he didn't really know a whole lot about healthcare, he had a great boss that was willing to take the time and take him under his wing and let him fail so that he could grow. Where there's no failure, there's no growth. You have to be able to fail in order to know what you did wrong and how to learn constructively from that to be able to get to where he is now as the CEO of Innova. In conclusion, I was extremely grateful that I was able to interview someone with the accolades that Knox Singleton has amassed. He was extremely intelligent, well-articulated, and very conversational. While we weren't able to cover many of the questions, I was extremely grateful for the advice that he was able to give me, and the added meetings in the future. I look forward to talking with him. And this is kind of something that you can't really give up, like this advice. Like the assignment called for these 12 questions, but I think the amount of knowledge that I gained from it was surpassed even that. I look forward to talk with the 10 keys of organizational success, which I'll talk about a little bit here. And something that did surprise me was how he talked about his path, and while there was no intentionality, he ended up in the great role that he is as the CEO. It just kind of goes to show that you never really know where you're going to end up. This just goes to show also that the soft skills that he discussed, public speaking, confidence, and being relatable will take you as far as you let it take you. Another thing that we kind of connected on was both our backgrounds in debate. He mentioned how that taught him a lot of the soft skills, such as public speaking, confidence, and being able to relate to somebody and be able to articulate their position, and just being able to respond. He said that was huge. Being able to respond and being able to think on your feet is something that he said was one of the most important things of being an executive leader. But enough of this. I'll talk about some of the 10 keys to success that he sent to me. The first thing that's on his list was do what your superior wants done versus what you think is important. So this kind of goes against the human instinct to, even regardless of what our boss tells us to do what we think is best if that contradicts what the boss wants us to do. And his rationale for this is that you want to earn trust of your employer or your boss, If you lose that trust, then you'll quickly stunt your growth. And then his second thing that we kind of talked about was stand for something greater than yourself. And he said, why? And it's because it builds respect, family, your faith, and your principles. He also, another important one that I really want to talk about was only speak well of others. And again, why? Because you don't want to have secondhand criticism of others destroy their trust. And he talked about this idea of trust a lot and how it's important, because if you lose the trust of your boss, you're not going to be able to grow at all. Another thing is say you're sorry when you mess up, and why this communicates that you're not too proud to say it, and you know that you messed up, and you'll be able to communicate your personal strength and self-confidence. People want to know that you feel their pain, and saying that you're sorry turns away anger. So you really want to be able to take accountability for your actions, regardless if they're good or bad, and that way you just be able to grow. Those are just a few of the things that I thought were extremely important. But with that, I'm extremely grateful that I was able to interview somebody like Knox Singleton, and this was a very awesome class. I learned a lot, and with that, thank you guys.